So here's the thing. Star Fox is fucking rad. Except for most of the time. Yeah, I'm not new to this, but old Fox McCloud over here has had quite a tumultuous history when it comes to his games. Even worse than characters like Sonic or Crash Bandicoot. Star Fox as a franchise really only has one game that's generally considered good. That being Star Fox 64 way back in 1997. Jesus Christ, that's roughly 25 years ago now. I mean, I'm sure there are kids today that view Fox and Falco as Smash Bros. Characters more than Star Fox characters, but I digress. While a lot of people think that 64 is the only good game in the franchise, I would argue that, personally speaking, there's another game in the franchise that, while it may not have surpassed 64, certainly at the very least is on the same level of it. That being, Star Fox Assault. But I'm largely in the minority here. A lot of people really aren't too fond of this game. It's not so much that it's hated. Generally speaking, it's still usually seen as the second best of the series, but it's still criminally underrated. So why is this? Why weren't people too hot in the game when it came out? Why has it been forgotten? And why do I think it's just as good as 64? Well, to answer that, we gotta go back in time. February 21st, 1993, Star Fox releases for the SNES, and it's a massive technological achievement at the time, as it was one of the first console games to use polygonal graphics thanks to the SNES's Super FX chip. For those who don't speak Virgin, that means 3D! The game sold gangbusters and introduced the world to the series' main characters, Fox McCloud, Falco Lombardi, Peppy Hare, and Slippy Toad, who are hired by General Pepper to take out the evil mad scientist Andross. As the story goes, there was supposed to be a sequel on the SNES, but Nintendo said, nah, and had Rare make it for the N64 instead. The designers, using their brains, realized it'd just be better to stick with what they know, which is arguably why Star Fox 64 is just so damn good. You see, back when companies were first making the switch from 2D to 3D, they often encountered a lot of problems. A lot of stuff that worked in 2D games wouldn't really properly transition to 3D. It was basically like starting from scratch for them, so they had to figure out what worked and what didn't. Some companies jumped right into it. Others waited until the technology was better figured out. And others still just fucking cheated and made a 2D game with 3D graphics. However, the team behind Star Fox was blessed, because they already had their learning phase with the original Star Fox. And much like how that game is rough around the edges like Mario 64 or Ocarina of Time, Star Fox 64 perfects the formula, just like how Mario Galaxy and Twilight Princess do. This game is genuinely amazing as someone with no nostalgia for it whatsoever. And it's pretty much one of the only games this era I would genuinely recommend someone play without needing any context. It's just that good. This game also introduced Star Wolf, a rival bounty hunting team full of Wolf, Leon, Pigma Dengar, and Andross's nephew, Andrew. So Star Fox is riding high, two great games which sold like sweet syrupy hotcakes, and a bright future ahead of him. At that same time, the company responsible for making the games, Rare, was making a platformer called Dinosaur Planet, starring a cat girl and a fox guy. Nintendo, realizing that Star Fox was a big-hitting title, basically said, nah, again, and made them turn it into what was, originally, going to be a Star Fox spin-off still for the N64. But then that game got pushed back and ended up on the GameCube, and Nintendo realized, oh shit, this is the big next-generation Star Fox game. Would this game pull a Star Fox 64 with it being delayed for a future console, ultimately being for the better? No. Star Fox Adventures is a game worthy of a video in and of itself. However, we're not going to cover it here, we're already wasting enough time as it is. Simply put, it's not your typical Star Fox game. Instead of being an on-rails space shooter, it's now a Zelda knockoff. A bad Zelda knockoff. While it has aged a tad, if you want to know at least why Star Fox fans didn't like it, check out JonTron's video about it. This game also introduced the furry bait character known as Crystal the Fox. Jesus Christ, why are these kids' games so goddamn horny? So there Nintendo was, one of their more popular franchises now in the doghouse. They knew they needed to bring Fox back. So they went to the drawing board not only to make a sequel to Adventures, but also the true successor to Star Fox 64. And from that we got Star Fox Assault. The game takes place sometime after Adventure. By now, Crystal has joined Star Fox, leaving Peppy to take more of a backseat approach to the team, fitting since he is the oldest. After Andross was defeated at the end of the last game, his army is in shambles, and the crew is hunting down Andrew, the new leader, at their last major outpost. The game controls pretty well, honestly. The movement is tight, you hit the buttons to shoot, you hold it down to charge, you got a button to throw out bombs, you can do a barrel roll, flip, everything you expect from Star Fox is here. For those who don't know, the way the game is played is that forward movement is automatic. You just move up, down, left, right, and everywhere in between to shoot guys and dodge enemies. Oh, and by the way, I mentioned that this game looks fucking beautiful. Yeah, for the most part the levels take place in space, but goddamn, does it look good when it tries. It also looks better than Pokemon Legends Arceus. The music is also great, using a full orchestra to give a space opera the majesty it truly deserves. So the team takes on Andrew, and just as it seems like they've defeated him...
What? Reinforcements? That doesn't look friendly.
This fearsome creature is an Aperoid. As we discover throughout the game, they're a robotic species of aliens which travel the universe, turning everyone they make contact into robotic slaves for their hire. They're the Borg. Bad robot guys assimilate, you know the drill. And so the quest is on to find a way to stop these bad bots and save the Lilat system. The characters as we knew them have undergone a few changes since 64 days. Fox is largely the same, but now Falco is rocking his red space armor, Slippy has a yellow jumpsuit, Peppy has gone all gray and has more facial hair, and Crystal... well, at least she's wearing more clothes this time. Something I really like is that all the characters are color-coded. It's something I always appreciate, and goes to help us not just see them better at a distance, but also help us learn more about their personality from a glance. Falco wears red because he has a fiery personality. Crystal is a telekinetic alien, yes really, so she wears purple, a color that's hard to come by in nature outside of a few flowers and like 2 fruits. Anyways, next level is Fox infiltrating a base being raided by the Aperoids, so we can get a piece of them to find out how to stop them. And we get to the most controversial part of the game, on-foot gameplay. Now, unlike adventures, the on-foot sections on this game are shooters, so they're certainly a step in the right direction. There's a variety of different guns you can pick up, and they're all pretty fun. The gun I only really have a problem with is your starting pistol. It has a mechanic where the longer you press the button, the more you charge it up and the more damage it does. But you can't just fire a weak shot by pressing the button rapidly. You have to charge it every time. Okay. The guns are fun, but it doesn't matter how nifty the guns are when the actual gameplay is a problem. While Fox controls fine enough, one big problem I've heard is that the default control scheme uses tank controls. This means there's no strafing. At best you can only do a little dodge. Yes, by doing this one simple trick, suddenly the on-foot sections go from a third-person Metroid Prime to a twin-stick shooter akin to Halo. Okay, I'm gonna need to be frank here for a minute. I'm playing this game on a Dolphin emulator, legitimate Nintendo GameCube hardware, while using a modern Xbox legitimate GameCube controller. So I can't really tell you exactly how playing this game with this scheme would feel on original hardware. However, I have played with a GameCube controller before, relatively recently in fact, as I have a version for my computer. And from what I can imagine, it'd still be alright, if a bit awkward. But I can confirm that using a modern controller with this game mode is fucking sweet! It controls pretty well, responsive, most of the weapons feel good to use, and even the platforming is pretty fun. Fox jumps around so much I was convinced he was a goddamn kangaroo! Anyways, about halfway through the level, Fox calls down the Landmaster, a tank, and... oh no... The Landmaster really isn't all that fun. I get it, it's a tank, it's supposed to control clunkily, but that's not really fun, now is it? It's slow, it moves, well, like a tank, and while it certainly does fucking hit, and takes a lot of damage, I'd rather just play as Fox on the ground. He has better mobility and can dish out similar damage with the rocket launcher and grenades. Anyways, as the story goes on, we find out that Pigma Dengar is working with the Aperoids as he steals this core right from under Fox's nose. The next level is a hybrid level, with you being able to swap between flying around in the R-Wing outside of a base, and running around and shooting people inside the base. Not much to say here, Slippy actually joins you on the ground, and he's about as useful as you'd expect. Hey, wait a second. By God! Anyways, later in this level, Starwolf appears, revealing that Pigma left them and now they're just a trio. This horn dog called Panther.
Ah, but lovely Crystal. Worms do you no justice.
The next level is on a snowy tundra. There's this one part where you're locked in a facility of robots, you gotta defend yourself until Falco comes and saves you. It's pretty fun. So you shoot, Falco flies in to save you. Jeez man, you're lucky the ship still fucking works after that. You hop on the wing and whoa! This is the moment right here. This is when I realized this game was rad as fuck. I mean, look at this. You're flying around on a spaceship's wing, big ass gun in hand, blasting the hell out of robots. It's awesome. If a bit easy. This is also something you can just do whenever you want now. It's pretty cool. Then you get into your own ship and blast the hell out of a robot Pigma turned into an asteroid by using that core thing he got. So we blow him up and give chase. Next level is pretty fun, flying around the space station, then inside. Pretty cool. Oh, also Pigma's a robot now.
What is that thing?
Yep, he's been fully taken over by asteroids, and it's kinda creepy actually.
We are the ultimate existence. You cannot resist us. You will join us.
Anyways, we kill him, hurrah, and get the core. While the scientists work on that thing, Crystal gets a psychic signal from the dinosaur planet Saria.
I'm sensing a distress call from planet Saria.
Saria? From Tricky?
I'm not sure, but I sense cries of agony.
Okay, did I mention this game looks really fucking good? I mean, seriously, this game looks really good for a GameCube game. The next stage takes place in a city, and it's kinda lame. Your mission is to use a sniper rifle to take out these floating eye things, but they don't move. They just kind of stand still. All you do is aim at them until they open their eyes, then shoot. The problem is, this map is really big, but since you're using a sniper rifle, you really don't have to do all that much movement. But the game makes up for it by having another wing riding segment, this one complete with a boss fight against an asteroid-infected General Pepper.
I'm sorry. I'm powerless. Shoot me.
Yeah, this game gets kinda melodramatic at points. Not that that's necessarily a bad thing, even for kids games. Not everything in a kids game has to be positive and upbeat. Kids games with darker elements can be helpful in teaching kids that those negative emotions are totally fine to feel. But this is kinda pushing it. Hey, I never said the game was perfect. The next level is us defending a space station from an asteroid attack, and yeah, it's fun, but while we're talking about complaints with the game, I got one. I kinda have a problem with the way Crystal is handled. Now, yeah, obviously she's, well, you know, furry bait, but that's not the problem I'm talking about. She's pretty underdeveloped as far as characters go. But what I mean by that is I'm not even really sure what her personality is. Now, yeah, the rest of the members of Star Fox are pretty one note, but I still see how they fit in the dynamic. Fox is the standard hero, out to do what's right and make his dead father proud. Falco is the sarcastic hothead who's always excited for action. Slippy is a bit of a dope who often gets himself in trouble, and Peppy is the wise mentor to the rest who passes knowledge on to them. What the fuck does Crystal do? Now, in Star Fox Adventure, she spent most of the game trapped in a crystal, so we didn't really get the opportunity to learn much about her. But here we have her for the whole game, and I just can't figure out her personality. I guess you could say she's stoic? I don't know, she lets her emotions out pretty easily whenever she's around Fox and Panther.
Yeah. I'll take care of things here so you two can come back on your honeymoon.
What are you, nuts? We're not yet,
Not yet.
Alright, that was a bit of a tangent, sorry. So the level's over, and now we're off to the asteroid homeworld.
Wait, its size and mass are disproportionate.
What? What does that mean?
are you saying...
What? Are you saying what? Anyways, the second to last level is Fox using his guns to blast the fuck out of the asteroid homeworld before hopping in the R-Wing and blasting it up some more.
Looks like we may be the last hope. Don't give up. If only some...
Ah, shit. I actually died. The game does lean on the easy side. Again, this is a game for kids, but on harder difficulties, it can really be a kick in the balls sometimes. Anyways, we're about to take the fight to the planet. But suddenly, this big shield pops up. Just before all hope is lost, Peppy makes a valiant sacrifice and crashes the Great Fox into a shield, which is now overrun with asteroids, by the way, stopping it from closing. Alright, seriously, this game is getting kinda ridiculous. Last level, it's a trench run through a tight corridor, and it's pretty damn challenging. Also, Starwolf showed up, by the way. They're helping us now. We make it to the Asteroid Queen, and by God, the melodrama reaches a 10, as it uses its powers to replicate the voices of the dead who have been assimilated into the Asteroids.
Give in. This is not sacrifice. It is evolution.
Not Peppy, too! Stop!
What's going on?
Dad? That's enough. There's no need for you to be hurt anymore. Let us live as one.
Good God, this is just too far, man. Teaching kids about fear, sadness, even death in some cases is one thing, but this is just being cruel. I'm not saying you can't have dark or fucked up things happen in kids' stories. That's been a thing since, well, Grimm's fairy tales all the way back when. But if you are going to have it there, two things have to be taken into account. One, it has to be properly built up.
Those kings will always be there to guide you. And so will I.
And two, it has to actually tie into the themes of the narrative.
You must take your place in the circle of life.
Not only is this not properly built up at all, but it doesn't really leave much of an impact because we're at the end of the game now. So why is it here other than to just raise the age rating a bit? That being said, this is a Star Fox game, and the story here matters about as much as it does in Doom or porn, so I guess we can let it slide for the most part. Anyways, it doesn't phase the team when we get a two-phase boss fight with the Queen. One where you fly and run freely, and one where you go down a tunnel.
Here I come, you evil space hag!
Alright, yeah, this game kinda has a tone problem. I mean, like 5 minutes ago, the team was being tortured by visions and voices of people they lost in their lives, and now, you got us spouting lines from a 1940s comic book. Say what you want about Star Fox 64 plot-wise, but not only was that game more in tone with a family-friendly space opera, but it was also more consistent. This game is all over the fucking place. Anyways, we beat the Queen, because of course we do, and launch a virus into her that makes all the Asteroids self-destruct, ridding their vile presence from the universe. Then Fox says this.
She tried to bypass evolution by stealing souls, but you have to be born with one.
What? Nah, fuck it, who cares? The end! But in a post-credits scene, we find Peppy actually survived. Somehow. We're not gonna talk about how impossible that is, so yay! So, that's Star Fox Assault. And, yeah, it was pretty good. The story may be all over the place, but the music is phenomenal, the game looks beautiful, and the gameplay is great. Yes, I do like the on-foot sections. I think they're fun and an important variety to the game. Of course, that's not how everyone saw it. The game, while it sold well, wasn't critically received well at all, mainly because Nintendo tried to appeal to both fans of adventure and classic fans at the same time. All it did was please neither. Classic fans were annoyed that their fun spaceship shoot-'em-up was being interspersed with third-person shooter levels, and vice versa for adventure fans. A lot of Star Fox purists feel like the levels don't belong in a Star Fox game. So, yeah, they're not normally what you get out of Star Fox, but who cares as long as they're fun. And they really are fun, especially with twin-stick mode enabled. When Nintendo inevitably goes back to make a new Star Fox game, I really hope they look to Assault for inspiration and have a similar ground level mechanic. Maybe it would be better if the ratio was different. Like let's say a 2-to-1 or 3-to-2 ratio in favor of the ship levels, instead of the 1-to-1 this game had. But speaking of Star Fox games, because of the middling reception this game got, we wouldn't see a new Star Fox game on the Wii. There was one on the DS, but it was shit. The next main console game wasn't until Star Fox Zero on the Wii U, a whole 11 years after Assault. It was a reboot to the franchise, once again retelling the plot of the original game. Meaning, no Crystal, and no new bad guys.
I'm back, baby.
This game wasn't good. There's a number of reasons for it sucking, with the main one being a forced motion control gimmick that was hard to get a grasp of and no one really liked. Because of that, the game sold really poorly, reportedly being the worst selling game of the franchise. And because of this, we're not likely to see a new Star Fox game for quite some time. While that certainly does suck, it's not like this era is completely forgotten by Nintendo. Crystal still makes cameo appearances in games like Smash Bros, and they even had the voice actors for this era come to Smash Ultimate to say a few lines, complete with Assault-style character heads.
I am known as Panther Caroso. I salute you, my enemy.
It looks like the gang's all here.
Good enough. Come on, Fox. Let's get him.
That's cute. I digress. I stand by that this game is, in terms of quality, at least at the level of Star Fox 64. If you're a newcomer, start with 64, then try this game out. And to all the classic Star Fox fans, I definitely recommend you check this game out. And keep an open mind to the on-foot sections. You may just fall in love the same way I did. I'm Sir Strongman, and that was the thing.
Yeah, can you believe this guy makes us sit through 30 seconds of just outro music and just says thanks for watching? Woo. Thanks, guy.
God damn it, Tosh. If you don't get out of here right now, I'm gonna beat you with this boomerang.
Yeah, great, cool. Alright, that's it. Mage Hand. Get him out of here.
Mage Hand. Ah!